All right, art lovers, welcome back. I'm not in the studio today. I am in this man's studio, the world famous and amazing David Lozeau, here in beautiful sunny California.
We did. We dropped the drawbridge to the castle and let you sneak into the laboratory. So welcome to the hideout, as you will.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
What a great studio. I wish you guys could all see this, but you can't. And it's amazing. The man is state of the art. He, of course, is one of my biggest selling artists in the gallery. Everybody knows him as the skeleton guy. But
It is a rep now. It is
a
thing.
We've slung a lot of bones over the years.
Yes.
I think we're moving into almost 12 years of business together.
It is. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did a couple interviews in the past, but they never stuck on the old YouTube. So today we're going to get caught up, really give you an in-depth interview into the man and his work. And we'll start with, where are you from again?
I grew up on the East Coast, so I moved out to Southern California in 2006 or 7, right in there. So almost 20 years now out here.
Wow.
And again, I came out here. I always did art as a kid, but I had a graphic design degree. And I moved out here and was kind of starting to play with paints a little bit, get back into it. And then I was exposed to Day of the Dead, and it basically kind of gave me motivation. I went to Oaxaca to see the celebration, and I came back so infused with excitement and energy to paint and to be artistic and kind of just basically launch my career in a direction rather than kind of just arbitrarily, playing with paints without a subject matter or focus.
Sure. And you were a big carver too, which is, I love some of the old tiki stuff.
Yeah, some of the tikis in here are mine. So when I came to California, I came to Santa Barbara, and the first part of that artistic explosion was I'm walking down the street, and there's a small little get-together, some pop-up tents, and there's guys carving tikis.
How cool.
And I was like, this is amazing. Like, again, East Coast,
right.
You don't see that.
Right.
I'm like, this is like every 50s movie I've ever seen is like, carving tikis and surfing. It's
right.
so California. So I got into tiki, hot rod, and tattoo culture was basically my first entry into art. So I was carving tikis and just kind of getting excited doing more and more. And then I started painting tikis, and that was really my kind of the entry level to getting serious about it. Kind of, getting the studio in the house set up, just
right.
being, kind of like approaching it from an artist and not just something, as a hobby you did on the side, but start to think serious about, I like this. Is there any potential, road or path to follow?
Yeah, it's amazing how you tapped that niche. And one of the other things I wanted to ask you, so when you were in college and you were more into graphic design?
Yeah, graphic design, because parents said I had to go get a real job because there's no artists live in lofts and don't make money. So
exactly.
You got to go get a job that you can actually do. So, yes.
So were you painting in college?
Yes, I have an art minor. I took the painting classes. I didn't take any, I took all the drawing classes.
Okay.
I only took a couple watercolor classes just because of the way schedule worked out. So that's why I think the work might be so illustrative now because
sure.
it was all that drawing. But I took just a couple of watercolor classes, took sculpture, took all those things, and I love them. But again, I love design too. It was kind of my, my outlet. I was able to channel that into a money-making actual career type thing. But it quickly faded once I got, and not being cocky, but once I was really good at it, it wasn't challenging anymore.
Sure.
And I was just frustrated with somebody walking in and go, I don't like blue, and scrapping a whole day's worth of my creative efforts because they don't like a color.
Sure.
Which is every job, and I understand that, but it just didn't have the love anymore. Exactly. And then the paints, I started to play with those a little bit, and that with a spark of I can do whatever I want. This is creative freedom.
That was my next question. I was going to say, so how did you come up with that combination? I mean, it's gouache, acrylic, and lacquer, correct?
Yeah, enamel, yeah. So that really came from doing live demos. So I'm painting here at shows. I'm starting to do farmers markets. I mean, I have like a camping chair.
What year is this?
Yeah, this is 2008, 9 maybe, 7 or 8. And, I'm at the farmers markets, and my prints are in 3-ring binder plastic sheets because I didn't know that prints go in nice binders, nice plastic bags.
Sleeves.
So I had the baseball card, hole
Too
punch
funny.
sleeves. And I'm laying out my prints, and that's kind of how we started, just showing the work. And the reception was so good to the work at that point as it is now. I was obviously doing something that wasn't being done. The style itself, the illustrative style, seemed to reach people.
Sure.
So it kind of inspired me to do more. But it was just me kind of painting a little bit and enjoying that and going, okay, maybe this could be a hobby that pays for the supplies. And that was just kind of the goal, was just pay for the supplies.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's amazing, even in the gallery, you'll have people come in and some have that knee-jerk reaction when they're like, oh, skeletons, I'm not buying this. But I do like that one, And
exactly.
You tapped into a market where there's not one person that comes in that doesn't at least find something they like.
Well, and imagine, so step back 15 years ago, there's no Coco, there's no Book of Life.
Right.
And Day of the Dead's basically unheard of. I'm the creepy skeleton guy even more so. Like I'm the morbid, those kind of weird words.
Sure.
So I spent more time being an ambassador, explaining what Day of the Dead was to people, which I love to do because it was so inspiring to me. Sharing that story and having someone take the time to listen, I thought like I'm going to win you over because once I explain how amazing this is, you can't help but see skeletons in a different way. So the more and more I shared that and became that cultural ambassador, that middleman between two cultures, the more I appreciated it, the more I won people over. And like you said, it was, you may not love skulls, but let me show you how I do them.
Right.
You know, what do you love in your life? You're a skier? Oh, check this out.
Right.
You're a bike rider? Check this out. You know,
Yes,
there's ways
totally.
you can weasel into their life and make them go, okay, maybe I do like skeletons.
One of the more unique things about you that I've learned in the last few years of our friendship is that you're a really good photographer as well, and that you like to go out and hunt birds down and photograph them.
Exactly. And part when I come see you in December, part of my thing is like, okay, I'm going to go to the lake and I'm going to lay out there at 5 in the morning and wait for the sun to come up. And that's kind of been, so years ago when I was doing the graphic design, my first jobs, or some of my jobs, were doing product photography.
Wow.
It was doing video stuff.
Huh.
And then I worked for a mountain bike company. I was doing all the product photography on scene, filming the team. I was doing all that stuff that
Very cool.
I didn't realize I was making this Batman utility belt of skills that as an artist I would use all of.
Yeah.
You know, Photoshop, photography, all those things I do here. I shoot my own work, you know, that's all part of it. And the bird photography, which is kind of a COVID offshoot, you know, being home, it's just like the painting.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, I was missing this. I was missing this creative piece in my life. I get off the easel and I come back recharged now. Because even the thing you love to do can still wear you down if you don't have other outlets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a nice, peaceful, different break from the painting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, hiking is that kind of thing for me as well.
Yes,
so.
exactly. Gets you outside, just enjoy. And you don't have I'm out there, I'm looking for birds, but I don't have any kind of like, you know, checklist. I have no mission. I'm out there. Something flies by me, cool. You know, but I'm outside no matter what. The worst day, I didn't see any birds, but I still did 2 miles walking around outside. You know, there's no loss in that kind of hobby.
One of the other questions I get a lot in the gallery is, oh, I wonder what's in this guy's brain. Where does this all come from? You know, and so what inspires you? What do you like to paint the most?
Oof.
And what do you not like to do? I mean, I think both of us can speak. We're not big fans of commissions, but at the same point, they are
challenging.
Really good.
Exactly. It's funny because in my head, it's not nearly as dark and interesting as you would want it to be.
Right.
You know, for me, the skeletons are a way to show a moment in time. What I love about the skeleton work is it is you see a skeleton, it's not black or white, there's no blue eyes, it's not male or female. It lets you relate to that moment in time. Look, it's a scuba diver, not anybody in particular.
Sure.
It's someone on horseback. It's the moment, the horseback rider, not Jim on a horse, you know. And skulls have always been that interesting way for me to cut to the main heart of a piece rather than be stuck with the details of blue hair, blue eyes, you know.
You bet.
What kind
Trying
of
to get a likeness.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody's got the same skeleton.
They can walk in and go, look, it's me.
Exactly.
It is you. You know, exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. So in that way. So for me, when I love to paint, I love to paint large.
Yeah.
You know, the bigger the better, the more intensive. You know, I love that, not the slog, but I love the layers and layers of a painting that you have to go into. For me, the most fun part of painting is definitely the enamel at the end, doing the detail, which you'll see me when we live demo. That's usually what you see me doing. That's the most fun because you're seeing all the nooks and crannies come together.
To life.
You're seeing all the pieces, and that for me is the most fun. But in terms of subject matter, I'm always in love with the new piece.
Yeah.
I have a lot of different things I paint to stay excited. You know, I don't just do military. I don't just do nautical. I kind of bounce around so that when it comes time to do a nautical piece, I haven't done one in a few months. I'm super excited.
You're not burned out.
Exactly.
No, I can see that with you. You're very eclectic in that nature, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about your work is that you never know what you're like coming out with.
I don't either,
you know?
and I don't either too. Like I'll have a list of what I'm planning on painting, maybe a couple months out, but something may just come in like left field and railroad its way to the front, and like boom, you're painting me now. You know, and an idea just forces its way into the easel, and like this is what you're doing now because this takes over the brain, and I can't lay in bed and think about I have to paint that to get it out of the way.
Gotcha. Well, looking ahead to 2025, do you have any big projects or anything that you are going to be doing this coming year that the audience may want to know about?
You know, it's wide open. I have some exclusive things for the gallery. I'm really excited for December. So if you're seeing this before December, I'm excited for the live demo. It's always a fun time. It's almost a family reunion at this point. Being that it's 12 years, people have been collecting the whole time.
Sure.
People make family trips up there to see us, and it's some of the same faces that I've been watching come in when they were dating, and now they come in with kids, and now they're on their second wife. You know, they can see the whole traffic of people's lives.
Yeah.
We lose collectors. You know, it's amazing to be nested in someone's life, and it just makes you aware of the impact your art's had on people. So I love that part of being an artist to see those little long tails that people's families and collectors have with the work.
Well, that's amazing for me to see too, because you're right. Like people that started collecting your work in my gallery 10 years ago that were 18 are now, almost 30. They're moving into a better career and 40 better pieces and larger works.
Yes,
and
they come in for a small mini print paper because that's what they can afford in college. And next thing you know, that 20 years later, they're their originals for their house. It's their wedding present. It's their anniversary present.
Sure.
Things that can be part of their life. Which is amazing as an artist.
Any aspirations to do any more three-dimensional stuff? Are you ever going to do a bronze? I want you to do a bronze really
Again,
bad.
art ADD. There's tons of things I want to do and want to try. I miss the sculpting aspect. Personally, because I miss that 3D feel.
You're really good at it.
And the frame's kind of a fun way to do that too, but I do want to do more of that. So I think next year's plan, now that we've kind of settled into what retired from the road looks like,
Sure.
It's kind of leveling out where I see where my gaps in time are. It helps me plan projects better. I think some of my pieces might get bigger because I have the time, and I have to get the mentality where if I'm doing a piece, it's the one time for that piece.
Sure.
If it should be big because that's better for the piece, then that's what it should be. The piece tells you what size it should be. I don't want a bird to be this big. I want a bird to be that big.
Right.
I want the things to be. I'm only gonna paint this once. It has to be the best it can be. That way. So I think not being afraid to get larger. To do those kind of things. I mean,
Very cool.
Subject wise, I have my list right now on my phone is 20. Those are the emergency ones are about 20 pieces out.
Wow.
Where I have 20 ideas of paintings to do.
That are like the top priority.
Top
paintings.
priority. Doesn't mean, but what happens though is that, a couple of make off the list, and then somebody comes running in from left field and then marches away to the front.
Sure.
But I love that because that's my brain, being so inspired by something, even 20 years in, that I still can't wait to paint. Like, I don't want to lose that.
Right.
Because I don't want to approach easel with the, painting again kind of attitude. I want to be like, this is what I love to do. I want to show it off.
Get back to it. What's the largest painting you've ever done?
I've done 3 or 4 4x8 full sheets.
Wow.
The medium I use, the board only comes in 4x8 sheets, so that kind of is my limiter. But now we've done, I want to say 4 or 5 of those full 4x8s.
And what was that? Was that a masonite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a coated masonite that I use.
Masonite.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's special from a distributor company that makes this, but you can't get it anywhere besides having a pallet delivered, to your house. So
Nice.
I do that. Those are great. And the most recent one I did, it was a commission. It was a full pirate scene. 2 ships, over 40 different pirates, and that was well over 200 hours.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen that.
It is an amazing piece. Again, some of these commissions, they just go away. They go into the house and they build a pirate room around
So that
the
was
piece.
a total one of one?
One of one.
Man, what a lucky collector.
But he built this pirate house around that piece.
That's
he
insane.
He has a big pirate on top, coming out of a crow's nest, leaning over, full skeleton. Like he built
Wow.
That's where I want a piece to reside.
Sure.
And that's why I want to end up in a place that's like, the painting is low key compared to the rest of the ridiculousness around it.
Yeah, well, it was that crowning piece that set the tone for the room, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, everybody, he does come back to the gallery once a year. We've been roping him in, usually around the beginning of December. This year, it'll be the 13th and 14th, a Friday and Saturday. Also coincides with Prescott's Acker Music Night, which is going to be completely off the charts.
Very excited to see that part
So
of it,
many
yeah.
people downtown for that. So come on in this year, check them out. Of course, we've got all the information posted on our website, Ian Russell Gallery of Fine Art, and I'm sure Dave's going to have it on his.
Yep.
We'll be letting you know of future events. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out.
No problem. Welcome to the. I'm glad you got to sneak and see the laboratory.
It's
to
amazing.
let people in, and now you got to
I'm getting
Escort you
ideas
on
from my own
progress.
studio.
Exactly.
I'm just looking at yours. So, hey,
Excellent.
thank you again, my friend.
You got it.
It's great to see you. Thanks,
you
guys.
too. Take care.
Bye-bye.